streets. Probably a good shout. He's got all his MGs set up though, and plus the med bunker. So, and yeah, we just got Grens being churned out all over the place, and there goes one croc. He just popped Allied War Machine in the nick of time though, so he's probably going to get that one back. And yep, there we go. There's the fresh crocodile for him. Probably wanted to send that one straight into the fray. We got that Pershing has got it, but God, the Pershing's really having a hard time. He probably wants to get that thing out of there, especially given the amount of kills it's got. He doesn't want to waste that. That croc looks like he's having a little bit of trouble getting stuck on the building, and this croc is, and this thing's gonna die. He actually popped field repairs and Allied War Machine just to be safe and to try and keep his Pershing, his Vet 1 Pershing alive. And the field repairs actually managed to keep him, keep his croc alive enough to actually get his main gun back, which is quite surprising. But now it's going to go down, having done only minimal damage to the 88, and that remains at 3 men. However, 2 VPs still held by Rocky. The current VP timer is 291 to the Allies and 266 to the Axis. So Axis are in a pretty good spot now. I mean, Rocky had some hard times in the early game, really got driven off and had a very difficult time. But now he's got his Vet 3 Grens, he's got his med bunker, he's got his 88s, he's got even more Grens, and he's got his MP42s. I mean, he's looking in very, very good shape right now. And it looks like every attempt to try and take out these Grens and this sort of combo of 88s and MGs is just sort of seemingly resulting in failure every time. However, one squad of Vet 3 Grens isn't going to be able to stand up against Vet 2 rifles and that croc though. What he really is probably going to need to do is a sort of a concentrated infantry push with armor, you know, real combined forces, or even a back tag to WSC wouldn't be a bad idea. A sniper would be an excellent counter to what he has on at the moment. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, snipers do, oh god, really picking apart those rifles with that MG, isn't he? Those vanilla rifles especially. But snipers always snipe elite armor, i.e. Vet 2 or 3 Grens, on retreat every time, which means that if there's a sniper around, you are pretty much forced to retreat if your Gren squad goes down to less than 3 men, which is obviously a huge disadvantage to you. Packs covering 88s, Grens covering packs. It's just 80 at the butthole here at the moment. But these rifles, sitting in native cover, it's really horrible. He doesn't fancy looking at that, especially not with for the fatherland popped. He's no way those rifles going to be able to get through. More rifles just moving up. He doesn't seem to be making too much of an attempt to actually reinforce these rifles either. He's got all these sort of low health NGs and rifles, not really retreating any of them to reinforce. Or when he does retreat, he doesn't seem to be reinforcing them, which is surprising given that he's got 1,300 manpower. Although it could be possible. I mean, at 3 CPs, which he'll have fairly shortly, he just got to kill or decrew something, he'll be able to call in Calliopes, and I suppose he might be safe able to call in 2 Calliopes at once. I mean, there's 650 manpower, which isn't cheap, but obviously that only comes to a total of, let's see, 1,300 manpower. So he's going to be able to afford that, just about, although it will take a toll on his upkeep, his manpower rate, undoubtedly. Packs are picking off these crocs and maximum range here. Gets lots of penetrations. Pershing's there to tell him where to go though. Pack misses them and straight into an MG, double vetted as well, which means the MG now has elite armor, making that even more resilient to small arms fire, and making it extremely difficult to take down. I think a back take to WSC here really could mix things up and make things a lot more interesting, and also just help Tomitoma to sort of win this engagement really. There we go, that was Allied War Machine being popped. He loses one croc to the horrible sort of pack and 88 crossfire. He makes the MG retreat though. This is the time to bring in this sort of massive horde of infantry of sort of 5 or 6 rifles here. But unfortunately both crocs die in vain, don't really achieve an awful lot either. I don't think he even hurt very much at all. And finally we have the Panzer Commander, and that means Panthers, which is just awesome for Rocky, because as I said before, a Panther is going to chew up and spit out these crocs like there's no tomorrow. Even if he does have stickies, he has no real AT apart from this Pershing. He's just sort of been relying on the fact that Rocky's been sinking all his fuel into infantry vet and support vet. But he's about to get a very nasty shock. especially if he can you know, move up with some support on that Pershing, which does now have Vet 2, but it's going up against the Vet 1 Panther, so Vet 1 Panther versus Vet 2 Pershing, I don't know, it could be a tricky thing, especially if the Pershing, especially if the Panther manages to outmaneuver the Pershing, which it can do if well microed, given that yeah, superior speed. As you can see, both sides have pretty chunky guns, but even so, still bouncing a couple. I don't know, the Pershing's got the one up on him this time. Well, there's a Calliope fire right in on For the Fatherland MG though, and he still managed to get out of there. Gren's moving in as well, so those rifles better get the hell out of dodge, but the grenade goes down. Ooh, and For the Fatherland didn't save you now, bitch. And so they've gone down as well. But that looks like it must have been a sticky. He did manage to get a sticky off on that Panther, meaning that that Panther really achieved nothing for his troubles, aside from one infantry kill. Even with the Vet 1, obviously, he really needs the side skirts, which I believe come at Vet 3, if I'm not mistaken. Though that comes at infantry Vet 3, and that will allow him to have only a 50% chance of actually taking a sticky for its full penetration. It gives him a 50% chance of actually bouncing the sticky and taking no engine damage whatsoever, which is obviously awesome. Not quite sure how that pack managed to get so far, how that Croc managed to get so far up without taking any damage from the 88. But he's up there now, and point blank range. Ooh, he takes the decruise the Flak 88, more Calliope fire. Just, I think the Calliope might have even got the kill on the Croc. We'll check that out in a moment. Pershing looks like it's moving on, and here we go. There's the Calliope. No, it didn't get the kill, so it must have been the 88 in its dying moments. Must have got it. That Pershing and the Panther really duke it out at max range, though. Pershing is keeping LOS for the Panther, and there we go. Down goes the Vet 1 Panther, and no real sign of any other tanks on the way either. He really needed to have that pack and Gren support, which he no longer has. The pack is facing in totally the wrong direction. The 88 is decrewed. There's the other pack is all the way up here, way far away from where he needs to be, which is facing up against this Pershing. Pack is finally turning, but he's going to be absolute mincemeat for the Croc in a moment. And that's now a Vet 3 Pershing, which I can't remember the exact buffs it gets, but let's just say it's fucking cool. But it is taking some rear armor hits there, but finally gets decrewed. Now this pack is just all in his lonesome. He's the only real AT now. It's just Shreks, but they can get taken out by rifles and Crocs pretty easily. The pack finally gets decrewed. More Calliope fire coming down on the main bunker. It takes out a couple of Grens, and did that just kill? I don't know. I don't know what's killing what anymore. I think that Calliope might have even got the kill there, but maybe not. He's popped field repair though, which is going to get his Croc nice and repaired. There's nothing really to stop this Pershing from absolutely rampaging all over these rounds. He might even be able to get the squish if he's lucky, but he drives a little bit too far forward, misjudges it slightly, and he's going to take a rear armor hit. And he's this isn't the best tank maneuvering. Here we go. We've finally got the Croc coming to add a bit of support. He can reinforce from that bunker with the defensive bonuses he gets from the Doctrine, but it's not going to last for very long. The pack finally gets recrewed by some Volks, and here comes the infantry wave. And like I mentioned before, although they're vetted now, he really doesn't seem Tomitoma doesn't seem too concerned with actually reinforcing his guys. Is he going to be popping some grenades? Maybe not. No, no need for it. Plus, he's got in a couple of MGs. Sorry if I keep clicking around. I'm just sort of imagining that I'm playing this game. He's even managed to recruit the 88, which is an absolute disaster for the Valmont player, and that's absolutely horrible for him. He's lost all of his packs. They've all been decrewed, and now the Pershing's Vet 3. He's really got. Oh wow! They just gave 3 guys at once. That was a Shrek squad as well. That was the only semblance of AT on the field at this point. The Pershing is just free to absolutely run rampant now. I don't think Rocky has anything left. I think this is pretty much GG. He's just got that Volk squad left now. He's had everything decrewed. That's the problem with relying too heavily on support weapons. You can't very easily retreat them. And now he's lost his 88 as well. All his bunkers are about to get picked off. He almost got another Gren sword, but no way is that thing going to survive for very long. He's doing the base rush now. There's nothing to stop him. He really needed to make better use of that Panther if he was going to win this game. It was his only real mobile AT, apart from the Shreks, and against the Vet 3 Pershing, I don't think they were going to do an awful lot. he could have done with getting tanks out a little bit earlier, and there goes the end of the replay. That is the end, and what a great game that was. I mean, Rocky seemed to think it was a bit of a boring game. I say otherwise. I thought that was quite an exciting game, especially at the beginning and at the end. In the middle, yes, a bit of a stalemate, and Calliope rockets. A bit of a stalemate in the middle with the sort of slightly campy play over here from the right hand side, but as a Vermont tier 2 player, you know, there isn't an awful lot you can do except camp and sort of wait for your veterancy to get vet up. You probably could have done with a few more Grens, a few more tanks, a few more of everything really. I mean, 2 packs in the 88 should have been able to deal with those tanks, but unfortunately when you're flanking from multiple directions and you have that many crocodiles, I've never seen so many crocodiles in a single game. I mean, Tomitoma must have built sort of 5 or 6, I mean, plus, I mean, he had all the abilities like Allied War Machine getting popped all over the place, so they kept on respawning, and I suppose, I mean, they didn't seem to insta-kill anything that much, but I mean, crocs are always great fun to use. I mean, anything with a flamethrower is great fun to use. I mean, the damage they do and the kind of criticals they get, especially on the wounded Gren squads, are just immense, and they do make you laugh sometimes. Anyway, it was a good game, guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Hope the camera work wasn't too jittery for you. Hope you're not feeling too seasick, and stay tuned for another episode coming soon.